Chapter 1. The Bleeding Hands of Jonah Cross. Jonah Cross had never been a religious man. His faith had long since withered beneath the weight of a cold, indifferent world. He hadn't set foot in a church since his mother's funeral, and even then, he had stood in the back, numb, waiting for it to end. He was the kind of man who scoffed at the idea of divine intervention, of miracles, of anything beyond the tangible, the explainable. So when the wounds first appeared, he dismissed them. Small cuts on his palms, almost symmetrical. Strange, but nothing more than an irritation. Maybe he had scraped himself at work, or cut himself in his sleep. It wasn't until the second day, when he awoke to his sheets soaked in blood, that true fear crept into his bones. By the third day, the pain was unbearable. Chapter 2. A Curse, Not a Miracle. Jonah tried everything. Bandages, disinfectants, prayers whispered into the void. Nothing stopped the bleeding. It wasn't normal blood, either. It was thick, dark, seeping from the open wounds at a slow but constant pace, as if something beneath his flesh refused to let it clot. The smell followed him, coppery, cloying, rotten. Then came the dreams. Visions of shadowed figures lurking in the corners of ancient cathedrals, hollow-eyed priests with split tongues, statues of saints that wept black tears, their stone lips curling into whispers only Jonah could hear. "It is not a gift," they told him. "It is a warning." Each night, the whispers grew louder. His bed trembled as if something moved beneath it. When he awoke, the wounds had spread, gashes on his feet, a searing pain in his side. He tried to call the doctor, but when he picked up the phone, the line was dead. No, not dead. There was something on the other end, a breathing, wet, guttural, listening. He threw the phone across the room. That night, the whispers turned into screams. Chapter 3. The Visitor in the Dark. By the seventh day, Jonah couldn't leave his apartment. The air inside was thick, as if the walls were breathing. His wounds were worse now, deeper, raw, festering. And no matter how much he washed, the scent of iron clung to him like a second skin. Then, just past midnight, the lights flickered, and he heard it. A slow, deliberate knock at the door. Jonah sat frozen. His breath caught in his throat. Another knock. 3 times. Then, from the other side, "Jonah, we are waiting." A voice, rasping, broken, as if spoken through shattered teeth. His hands throbbed. The blood dripped. No longer just wounds. They were mouths. And they were whispering. Chapter 4. The Final Revelation. Jonah didn't open the door. He ran. Out the window. Into the streets. Barefoot. Bleeding. Delirious. The city was silent. Empty. The streetlights above him flickered, casting shadows that twitched when they shouldn't. His blood left a trail behind him, staining the concrete, disappearing into the cracks. Then, a church bell tolled. It shouldn't have. It was 3 a.m. Jonah turned toward the sound. There, at the end of the street, stood a cathedral, one that shouldn't have been there. Its doors were open, waiting. Jonah stumbled forward, drawn by something greater than himself. As he stood inside, the air grew heavy, and then the doors slammed shut behind him. Chapter 5. What was left of him. They found Jonah's body 3 days later, in a church that hadn't been used in decades. He was lying at the altar, his arms spread wide, his feet crossed at the ankles, like a crucifixion. The wounds in his hands and feet had stopped bleeding, but his eyes, they were gone, carved out, replaced with something else. Black pits, deep, endless. And when the mortician went to clean the body, he swore he heard something, a faint, wet whisper coming from the wounds in Jonah's hands.